Hi everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm hashtag Peter, and I'm not being a dick, I'm referencing the thing we're about to talk about. Mario's here.
What's up, guys?
And hashtag Ginger, Connor's here.
Yeah, Peter's a right dick.
Quiet you. We're going to talk about iZombie, Season 2, Episode 12. It's called Physician Heal Thy Selfie. And Liv eats the brain of someone who's obsessed with Twitter and social media and even leaving reviews on Yelp and similar such sites. Basically, a waste of space. No, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with doing any of that stuff.
Just to this obsessive
But to
extent.
this extent,
Yep.
you have a problem.
Did you say you're a problem?
You did.
Not you have a problem, you are a problem.
Exactly, yes. Yes. But actually, this episode started, and full spoilers for the episode. I don't know if I said that already, but full spoilers. This episode started with something that I'm pretty sure I've thought about in the past, but I thought, what if the murder doesn't have a head? Like, what if the head's gone? Now it turns out there's just other bodies in the morgue that she can, grab some of. However, I did laugh quite a bit when Liv was complaining about being hungry, and then Clive walked into frame and said, "We've got a triple homicide," and then Liv goes, "Triple, you say?" And then she licks her lips.
Yeah.
That cracked me up. Like she looked like she was.
It was undermined a little bit later when it was like, oh, there are other bodies. She could
Yeah, but it looked like kind of like one of. Apart me even, it looked like me when I found out there's a free buffet. I'm like, oh, buffet, you say? Like that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
Like she's gagging for food. It's great. Yeah, so she eats the brain of just some randomer who got hit by a bus, in the morgue. So, no, she didn't get hit by the bus in the morgue, but she was in the morgue because she got hit by a bus. Just to clarify. But this was a decent episode. It wasn't one of the best ones, not because there was anything wrong with it, just because it was kind of a in between the major sort of beats, setting up next things.
Yeah.
At least that's how I felt with it. It came back to the one guy, the one zombie that Major skipped on, which was kind of the main beat for the episode, because the head of Max Rager finds out, and it looks like Major actually he does kidnap him, but he explains to him what's going on.
I think he's putting them in cryo sleep until there's a cure.
Yeah. He explained it to that one woman who was about to kill herself that he was there to capture, and she willingly put herself to sleep.
Well, then he knows for a fact it exists.
Yeah,
He's proof that it exists. So it's not like a hope for someday. It's like, no, we're working on it. We've already had it. We just need to replicate it.
Yeah.
So it looks like the guy willingly goes in. So that's nice.
Yeah.
So, Mario, what did you think of the episode at hand?
Yeah, I thought it was really enjoyable. It's just, I do think it wasn't one of the better ones. I think just because it was funny, but it wasn't as funny as other episodes have been. The plot wasn't as interesting as other ones have been, where we got to see, like, Liv was acting quirky and funny because she was acting like a millennial doing the whole hashtag bullshit, but it wasn't such a departure where it's interesting to see her be this other person, like a country singer, or to be like usually they completely overtake her personality. With this, she's just really attached to her phone, but she's still mostly herself. So
Yeah.
it didn't have that hook.
Yeah, so it was an episode that just sort of connected the dots for setting up what was coming next, and it was setting up the boss guy a bit more and his connection to Blaine.
I still quite like Boss. He kind of manages to be kind of terrifying, even though he's kind of this nice-looking guy. Like he's just like this nice guy sort of thing.
Do you know what he reminds me of, actually? And I won't name the show or who wrote the show, but it reminds me of the mayor from the third season of a certain television show, which may or may not have featured a vampire slayer. And
As soon as he said he wouldn't name the show or the person who wrote it, I was like, okay, well, that's good.
Yeah, and then the person who created the show may or may not have directed a very successful comic book movie in 2012 with multiple characters.
For anyone if this is the first anything I've almost cancelled you ever watched, I have been accused in the past of mentioning a certain writer-director too many times. So I'm making an active
any
effort.
chance as a reference to connect something to one of his shows, that's it, you'll take it.
As loosely as it even can be.
Yeah.
But no, legitimately, the boss does remind me of the mayor. You remember the mayor from season 3?
Yeah.
It reminds me of that. He's really nice. Like, if you remember the mayor, he would tell people to go kill people, and then he would finish it up by saying, "Oh, and watch your language." Like, you know, it reminds me of that.
Mm. Yeah, but I also don't understand why Blaine doesn't just kill the guy. Because he can kill his dad, so clearly he can feel comfortable just ending someone's life. But he seems so
I imagine
scared of him.
Because he's worked for Boss, so he knows the sort of power he has in the city. I'm sure he's got some sort of insurance on his own life. Like, if something happens to him, what would happen to the person who killed him, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe he just figures he has that set up because he's that sort of person. And he'd just be putting a target on himself.
Possibly. Nah, I mean, what else did we get in this episode? I did enjoy Ravi and Peyton's bonding.
Yeah.
Particularly at the end when she's like moving out and he's like, you know, I really don't want you to
yeah.
go. But my liver, on the other hand, is like, you know, get out.
Ecstatic.
So no, it was a fair episode. It was one of those sort of episodes that you get on TV every so often where it's like, it's moving the chess pieces around the board.
Yeah.
For what's coming next, and in and of itself, it's not really that memorable, you know. I'm not someone who would ever go back and watch an individual episode of a show. I always go back and just rewatch the show. But for people who do go back and watch individual episodes, this probably isn't one of them.
Yep.
Yeah, probably.
But we did end with a bit of a cliffhanger, didn't we?
What was the cliffhanger?
I forget it now. I was hoping one of you'd remember it, but I remember it. I remember it ending abruptly with a tease, and I watched this like 2 hours ago. Why can't I remember this?
Liv flashed on.
Yes, that's right.
Friend.
Yeah, she realizes that Blaine's the one. There's a new player selling Utopia.
Oh, that's what she says.
Yeah, that's right. Went out of my head there.
Well, I didn't really think of it much of a cliffhanger because she already hates him. And she knows
but I mean, when I say cliffhanger, all I really mean is she had that realization, then it cut to credits, right? It was presented as such.
I guess that's why when I was just talking through that, I was like, okay, what happened near the end? Thinking that something happened after that.
Yeah,
because that didn't feel like
that's all I meant. But again, important. It moves the plot forward because now that you know, Liv knows what's going on, and
Blaine's getting more and more exposed. More people know who he really is.
And we must be building. We must be building to Clive.
Figuring it out.
Finding out Team Z.
Yeah.
I'll try to make that a thing.
I thought the opening 10 minutes were probably the strongest part of this episode, to be honest. Because you had that sort of stuff like her with the Instagramming the brain sushi with hashtag brain food.
Yeah, well, like the one where where they confront Blaine about the whole situation.
And
she's just like, "Congratulations, Selfie," and like that's kind of weird.
She uses a metaphor of it's like your Tinder profile says this. And
she's like, "Oh, you swipe right on that."
It's like, oh jeez. But yeah, that's iZombie this week. It was a fine episode. Everyone was lovable as always. Liv's actually getting to know the criminal dude who appears to actually still be doing a little bit too much criminal activity because he was hiding from her in the car.
Yeah.
I think it's because he's working for Blaine, isn't
he? He is, but she knows he's working for Blaine. She knows he's doing.
Just thinks he's working just in
the body retrieval business.
Yeah.
Oh, I say body. The hashtag brain food business.
That should be a thing.
But yeah, that's iZombie for this week.